Version 1.7 is easily the worst update of Zenless Zone 0. What do you mean the main event is us working in a flower shop? I think this mode would work well as a side event, a casual, relaxing, turn off your brain kind of thing, but as the main event for the update, this kinda sucks. I liked interacting with the different characters and seeing their reaction after making their little bouquets, and the story revolving around the Nineveh flower was okay. Nothing special, but had some decent writing. Like I said, my main complaint is just the fact that this is the main event for the update. It's similar to the burger event from version 1.2 where we work at Caesar's shop, but at least with that one we went on a couple of combat missions and we also got to see the store slowly improve with new tables, chairs, various decorations, and some other things. Sadly, the flower event doesn't have anything like that, which resulted in the event being extremely short. It took me roughly an hour to finish. And once again, remember, this is the main event. If we worked at a new store and slowly improved it over time and also had some combat missions, the event would have been longer and overall far better. We did get the glorious return of the Bang Boo Guys event. I was honestly pretty excited when this was announced in the version 1.7 livestream. I love the idea of playing as these fat little bean bunnies. But once again, this event kinda sucked, and that crushes my heart to say. The first time we got this event was in version 1.5. We only had 2 different types of matches, survival, and races. But it was the first time we got the event, and it was also using the new Bang Boo gameplay mechanic introduced in version 1.4, so I didn't mind it. But not only do we still only have 2 different types of matches, they're the exact same. Survival and races. Not only that, it's the exact same stages. They couldn't even be bothered to make new survival platforms or racing obstacle courses. What the hell, man? The only new addition is the ranking system. But like, come on, man. Seriously? This is the new addition? Some random medal that doesn't matter? I already made it to the top 1% on day 1. How? 'Cause I'm awesome? Obviously. I was really looking forward to this event, but honestly, I am massively disappointed. If they decided to bring this event back in the future, it desperately needs to undergo some massive improvements. If not, I'd rather they just never bring it back. And that's it. Those are the 2 big events for this update. A bare bones pale imitation of the burger event and a copy-paste Fall Guys clone. There will be some other events throughout the update, like the double drop rate and stuff like that, but that's nothing worth noting. No fun game modes like Trigger's Gallery Shooter or Lighter's 2D Brawler. No new additions to Hollow Zero. Granted, we did just get a new boss and Hollow exclusive skills last update, so that's to be expected. Having said that, it's not all bad. I love the conclusion of Vivian's and Hugo's story. Shocker, Hugo isn't dead! Wow, I was flabbergasted! I genuinely love watching him and Lycon interact. They have a great dynamic. Hugo's nightmare sequence was great. Watching him battle his inner demons and strengthen his resolve was surprisingly emotional. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Vivian as a character. I think her abilities, history, and design are all phenomenal, but her characterization is really annoying.
I didn't disturb your sleep, did I?
I'm just not a big fan of her constantly fangirling over Phaeton. It was a funny surprise when it first happened in version 1.6, but watching her constantly do it in version 1.7 got old quick. I much prefer the more soft-spoken, mysterious version of her. Gameplay wise, I really like Hugo and Vivian. Vivian straight up flies.
I'm very popular, y'all!
Well, okay, she hovers, but it's still a fun little gimmick. And I love her animations. Granted, this is Zenless we're talking about, gorgeous animations are par for the course. Also, my summons were crazy. I got her in 5 multis and her weapon in 1. 60 summons total, which is actually the same number of summons for my Miyabi and her weapon. I guess Anomaly just loves me. I'm still working on her build. Specifically, I'm trying to get an Anomaly Mastery with Anomaly Proficiency as a substat. Once I get that, my build will be finished. Hugo also has some gorgeous animations. Did you know they made his butt bigger? No, that's not a joke. They genuinely made his butt bigger and I think that's amazing. He actually has a really interesting gimmick. Similarly to every other attack class character, he wants to stun the enemy as fast and as many times as possible to optimize damage potential. But he wants to use his ultimate or EX skill at a high stun percentage to immediately drain the gauge and do an insane amount of damage. He is essentially the first true nuke archetype in Zenless. Zenless has been making a concerted effort to give attack characters unique gimmicks ever since Miyabi released. Overall, version 1.7 is disappointingly empty, but I do think there's a reason for that. In fact, I think there's two. Reason number one, this is a consequence of the removal of the TV system. Gacha games, just like any other live service, makes content far in advance. Realistically, developers already have the next year's worth of content planned out and in various levels of development. For example, when Zenless released, versions 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 were most likely already completed and just waiting to be released. However, as we all know, the TV system, a core feature of the game, was massively negatively received. Now, I've already talked about this decision a couple of times, so I'm not going to get into it, at least not now. Maybe I'll make an updated thoughts video in the future. Regardless, the removal of the TVs means that all year 1 content and potentially year 2 content as well, including events featuring the system, was scrapped. It's possible some of those events were salvaged and reworked. The White City event probably had some TV gameplay that was replaced with the Bang Boo gameplay, but other events and game modes were most likely completely deleted. Reason number 2 is the upcoming massive version 2 update. According to the developer talk, they plan on changing and adding a lot. For example, they plan on making changes to the hub areas. What exactly that means is unknown, but it sounds big. So it's possible they are just saving a lot of content for the big version 2 update and subsequent updates as well. The consequence being the fact that 1.6 and especially 1.7 were lacking in content. Honestly, I'm both excited and worried for version 2. Removing the TVs definitely changed a lot of the developers' plans for the future of this game. I fully expect the story, character design, and gameplay to be phenomenal like always, but these big changes they plan on making have me a little worried. I really hope they don't try to slowly make this game into another open world. I like that Zenless is stage-based, and if expanding the hub areas turns out to mean making bigger areas with a bunch of boring, repetitive tasks, I will be super disappointed. Anyways, I will remain cautiously optimistic for now. I love Zenless and I know the developers are capable of making a super fun game if given the chance. As for version 1.7, boy oh boy does it suck. Hopefully this will be a one-time thing as a consequence of the TV system's removal. Where are your pants? Let me know what your thoughts are on version 1.7 in the comments below. While you're there, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you really enjoyed the video, become a channel member for just $5 a month. Thank you for watching and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.